Hello, everyone. This is Ron Turner at Frontrunner 2020, and welcome. Thank you for joining the inaugural program of Frontrunner 2020. What is Frontrunner 2020? This is something new, and again, thanks to everybody for being here. I see friends on the line that are logged in. I really appreciate your support, and this is something that I'm really committed to. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, kind of delaying Josh getting started, but the general idea is for candidates at every stage, from having that aspiration to serve all the way up to winning an election, and focused on bringing best practices from the business community and so on. So it's not just a campaign management thing that's out there already, but the development, the branding, bringing in expertise outside of politics, and oh yeah, we'll do the the basic politics stuff too. Are you ready for some questions now, Josh? All right. Well, here was her question. It was asking for tips to make the Facebook page more engaging.
Yeah, we like to make a content schedule. We like to say, we know we're going to do consistent content, and that's really key number one. If you post 2 times or 4 times in one day and then don't post again for 2 weeks, that's not engaging content, and it's not going to keep people coming back. You want to post, start out 3 times a week, mix up your content so it's not just the same thing every time. Maybe do a status update and ask a question on Monday, post a picture on Wednesday, maybe link to an interesting article on Friday and ask a question. So if it's something about something that journalists or scientists have found about maybe giving online or something, you'll say, well, here's what these guys have found. What do you think? So you're encouraging conversation to get started. I also like to encourage, depending on the kind of organization it is, if it is an organization, not a campaign, it's probably going to be good for them to be an expert source on whatever the subject is. So you're going to want to encourage that kind of reputation for yourself by linking to sources that you know are good and moderating and leading good conversations. Same thing goes for Twitter as well.
Okay, Doug, go ahead and talk to Josh.
I guess. I think I followed Cory Booker for a while, and I decided he was insane because he just tweets everything. He filled up my Twitter so much that I couldn't see anything from anybody else, so I canceled it. So somewhere you can overdo Twitter, I know.
I think it can go both ways, and I understand what you mean about Cory Booker, and I think that depends on what kind of Twitter user you are. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but I know that Cory Booker has some specific goals about why he uses Twitter in the first place, and I think that informs how he uses Twitter. So he does tweet a whole lot, but I know that one of his main things is he wants to be accessible and accountable and reachable by the people of Newark and for the people of Newark. So that informs his sort of initial Twitter style. And not everybody is going to like that because not everybody appreciates that much content, and maybe depending on the different kinds of people you follow on Twitter, that might stick out like a sore thumb. So it's not going to work for everybody, but using these platforms isn't necessarily about pleasing everybody. It's about accomplishing specific goals. But it's valid what you're saying, and I get it.
I mean, I think of it more as any candidate or any person whose name appears on a ballot. If you're their campaign manager or their communications person, you're going to sweat over that person wandering around and a little thing in his hand that he can push a few buttons and talk to the whole world. Anytime he wants to, no matter how he feels, he can say something. And I guess my point was, I think you're right that it should be a collaboration with the staff, and there should be some authenticity. But I also think there with a lot of these guys, there needs to be a filter, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. I mean, there are some candidates that it wouldn't bother me a bit, and there's some candidates that I would smash their fingers with a hammer if they reached for something. So
this is absolutely true, and this is the same thing that we tell our clients. We don't build the same program for all of our clients because every company is different, every organization is different, and in this case, every candidate and every campaign is going to be different. And not every candidate is built for this, and that's a valid, fair thing to say.
But here, let me say this, is that there are tools that allow exactly the sort of management that you described. Now, I don't use those features, so I don't know what's in what. And Josh, let's kind of, in our follow-up email to them, include some of these tools. But Hootsuite that you saw on the screen there I was demonstrating, there's Social Oomph. There are others where teams, I know for sure in Hootsuite you can have different passwords and levels of approval that are designed for businesses so that, one person can put in draft tweets and they have to be approved. So the scenario you described could be one where the person puts in their impromptu tweets that have to be approved, by the communications director before they're released. And there can be pre-scheduled daily tweets that are written collaboratively and scheduled to go out at certain times. Those are the way you can do it because, yeah, you're exactly right. You don't want somebody roaming around with their iPhone, at the baseball game. And I'm unmuting Sean. Sean, you are live.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can.
I don't think I've... Oh, good, good. Yeah, I'm working with a Senate race, and we're trying to figure out if Facebook advertising is really something that will actually generate some growth in our social media universe that we're going to reach out to. And we've experimented with it, and we've had some mixed results. And I know there's two different types. There's the kind where they click, and then there's the impression kind where it pops up, and they both have two different prices. Is there a specific one that you've had better luck with overall?
I'll tell you, I have had really incredible results with some of the newer kinds that they've been running, because Facebook advertising used to just be you focus on interests and likes that people have declared, and that's what makes Facebook advertising so powerful, because it's built entirely, and unlike Google where you kind of have to do a blanket carpet bomb of, well, I'm going to buy up these keywords and I'm going to bid on these words and hopefully I'm going to win. On Facebook, if someone hasn't said that they like something, you can't target them with advertising. Now you can target them more generally through demographics and broad topics and things like that. But I got to tell you, one of the most effective kinds that we've run for some of our national brands, and even for our very narrowly targeted sort of local businesses, has been the friend-of-friend advertising. And that, for a long time, Facebook had a feature where it would show you when your friends have liked a certain page. So like I logged in today and I saw that 3 of my friends liked a band. That's a local band, and they've got a big show coming up, and so they're doing a little bit of PR, and people are liking them on Facebook. So I went over and I clicked on that because I like that band too. That's been going on Facebook for years, but now you can do advertising where it's the same thing, and it just shows you your friend likes, Josh Berthum likes Eagle and Wheeler, but that's actually an ad that I paid for. And when go ahead.
Go ahead. What we did was we sort of like picked picked some things that we picked, of course. I mean, he's a Democrat, so we picked anyone that identifies themselves as a Democrat. My candidate skews younger, so we picked Jon Stewart and Colbert, NPR, just to grab those, and I think the Audubon Society and 1 or 2 others. And we were able to generate a universe like 685,000 Facebook users in Texas.
Right.
And I was curious as to how much and how long would you invest in a Facebook advertising campaign in that respect?
The kinds of campaigns that we run are usually incredibly micro-targeted, and what that ends up resulting in, sometimes the burn rate is slower, sometimes we pick up fewer fans or go slower than maybe more broadly targeted campaigns or more aggressive campaigns, but we have almost 0 churn rate, which means the people that we get, we keep because they actually care about what our client does. I'm a data and stats nerd. I have a couple of political science degrees with a lot of math plugged in there. So I
am too.
I like to have 30 days of data. And
Okay.
I like to do an initial broad set of campaigns and establish a universe and sort of figure out what my knowable finite group of people is, and then try a few things. But I'd like to try like 15 things. Now, I'm not hurting any of the others by trying all of these tiny little granular campaigns, but maybe I would run one that targets Democrats that like Colbert and like all that stuff, so you've got that campaign that runs. And then maybe I would target people that are interested in politics but have not declared a party.
Okay.
And then I would run people that are interested in political stuff but don't declare any sort of political affiliation or don't necessarily like a candidate, but they do watch Colbert, they do watch The Daily Show, maybe they they engage in things like that, and you sort of filter it out into smaller communities and see. I'm going to run a couple of ads to all of these different target groups, and I'm going to see what's effective. Friend to friend is going to be effective here. Page-like stories about something where he went out and kissed a baby and high-fived Beans and Jeans, that's going to be effective here. Over here, a general message about, campaign stuff like my guy's about jobs, he's about social justice. Like that's going to resonate with a certain audience. You're never gonna figure out how you're gonna do it in 15 days with $100 in one bullet. So you got to commit to it. But I think if you do and you experiment, you're going to pull some science out of it, and it's going to be effective for you.
Thank you.
That sounds cool. I'll have to put you guys in touch afterwards. So everybody listening, you can see Josh's contact information on the screen there. I mean, he practices what he preaches. You can see the Facebook page for Eagle and Wheeler, and Twitter as well. So as you're setting up those accounts, make sure you follow him. And Josh, any closing comments that you would like to make?
You can follow me on Twitter at jberthum. It's my first initial and my last name. You can feel free to email me with any questions you might have at josh@eaglewheeler.com. I do practice what I preach. I'm passionate about this stuff. I don't think this is the future because it's here and it's where we live. And the shop that I have built, I think of as a modern media company. We're a PR firm. We're an ad agency. We're a brand company. We're an ad strategy company. We're a communications house. And I like talking about this. I want to know what you're doing. And there's nothing I like better than helping people get better at telling their stories. So feel free to contact me.